Welcome to the Libertad Language Exchange Club. In this video I will explain how the club works so you can decide if it's for you. First thing you have to know is that it's more than a club, it's a system. The club is entirely free, but not everyone can join. Let me explain. If you've tried to learn a second language but hit a brick wall, we know what it feels like. No matter how hard you study, you can't get the language structures in your head to turn into natural, fluent speech. Don't worry, you're not stupid, it's not your fault. Learning a second language to the point where you're fluent using institutional language frameworks and systems is almost impossible. Most language schools teach vocabulary lists and grammatical rules with a few examples and a few exercises. That is not how humans learn language. These institutional frameworks are an expensive part of the problem. When you write a shopping list, when you cram for an exam, or when you read a book, the information is only stored temporarily in your brain. Your brain will delete the information as irrelevant as soon as the event is over. That is why you never became fluent. You've been trying to learn a language using the wrong part of your brain. The part of your brain that deals with language is the same part of the brain that you use when you drive a car or learn to ride a bicycle. Think about it. I bet you that the only people that you know or have ever heard of who have actually achieved fluency in a second language were those language students who married into their second language. To explain it more scientifically, they created mutually dependent relationships where only the second language was spoken. It turns out that humans were not designed to learn language by memorizing lists of words and rules. Our brains are just not made that way. We are built to learn language from our family. When you learnt your native language as a child, you were constantly exposed to sounds from which you could empathically infer meaning. More importantly, you could create a mental network of need to store that information based on physical relationships, feelings and perceptions. The Libertad Language Exchange, the Intercambio Club, was created to give you a surrogate family. Of course, it's true to say that all language resources have their place and are useful. Members are encouraged to use everything from AI, apps, traditional schools, books, courses. Every member must follow their own path. I said that the club is not for everyone, and here's why. Because we use neuro-linguistic science to help you learn a second language naturally, you have to understand that the Libertad Language Exchange is an intensive language system. It's not a social club, it's certainly not a dating club, and you can't turn up and expect strangers to want to talk to you. They're too busy learning a second language to care what you think about geopolitics or the price of eggs. This is not a conversation club. The first thing you must have to join the club is need. To open up your mind for a second language, you must have an overwhelming desire. It must feel like your life depends on it. You have to want it so bad you can taste it. Because need is personal to you, only you know the words that you need to learn. You have to find out through constant testing, quizzes, challenges, find out what you don't know and what you don't understand. Which leads us to the second thing you need in order to join the club: courage. The only way to speak like a native is to fearlessly look at your own mistakes and not give up. You must explore the depths of your own not knowing and then make a plan to get you where you need to be. Learn to be excited by the challenges of a club. The vocabulary and structures you identify in your plan are not learned in lists, but in the context of useful phrases and then repeated in different ways. Through role-playing, reading stories to each other, through games, we acquire the music and the rhythm of a new language, just as we did as children. You need regular exposure to real language from which the brain can infer meaning through non-verbal cues. To achieve this, the club gives you access to real people with body language and facial expressions from which your subconscious can empathically infer meaning. In this way, the brain creates a network of need for your new language to be stored. We base our club meetings on Professor Ebenhaus's forgetting curve, and it works. You must frequently access the new information stored in short-term memory until the information is moved by your brain automatically to the long-term memory. In this way, the language becomes a part of you. You must have used the same system when you learn to drive a car or ride a bike. This is how you become fluent. The third thing you must have is self-discipline. Working closely with strangers means that you must be polite and courteous for the club to survive. Our system depends on every member preparing their own lessons and being prepared to help someone else with their language learning 50% of the time. That does not mean that you are expected to teach someone a language, nor are you responsible for their learning. Every club member is responsible for teaching themselves, because as children we were largely self-taught, but we were guided by incremental exposure to the native speakers around us in our family. The club is designed to exactly mimic this process. Before you even think about joining our club, ask yourself, how committed are you? Anything less than 100% commitment to learning a new language will mean that the club will be just a waste of your time and, frankly, more importantly, ours. We have set up the club to be free for people who really want to learn. However, for the club to function, it is vital that every member is courteous, highly motivated and proactive. In each meeting, you'll be working one-to-one with another member who is prepared to help you, but they are relying on you to help them. Therefore, you must reserve a place before each meeting. If, however, you fail to attend without sufficient notice, you'll be expelled from the club. A WhatsApp message is all it takes to reserve a place at a meeting, and it's just as easy to cancel. But if you haven't bothered to reserve a place, there won't be a place for you. So ask yourself, do I have what it takes to make this system work for me? And if the answer is yes, send us a WhatsApp message and convince us that learning a second language using the Libertad system is for you. If you are accepted as a member of the club, we will give you all the support and encouragement we can, and it's all for free. Members have access to physical meetings in the Málaga province. We also have a private WhatsApp group and a private Facebook group to encourage ongoing information exchange, and an online intercambio meetings will be available shortly. If you think our system could help you, why not send us a WhatsApp text today? But please, no phone calls. Thanks for your time, and I hope to meet you in the club.